Hello everyone, welcome to my build. Today I'm showing you a build that I did in Windenburg. This build is a vacation home, so there isn't a budget on it. I didn't worry too much about how much I was spending for it, but it did end up being around 62 to 63,000 simoleons. I was expecting a little bit more, to be honest, just because I didn't worry about the budget at all this time. I wasn't concerned at all at how much I was spending. Also, this time I did not use foundations. I just used the platform system just to raise the floors. This was just because I wanted the paneling or the brick or whatever I was going to use on the exterior to flow all the way from the ground up to the roof. I didn't want there to be a disruption like where you would use platforms and there would be like a line between the the foundation and the house. I wanted it to completely flow upwards from there. The only place that has any sort of breakup like that is the front porch, which I wanted that to be like a separate entity of the house. I wanted it to have its own pattern and texture, basically. With this house, I struggled a lot with the color scheme because I wanted there to be blue accents, this light blue accents. So I thought I would do like the stairs blue, the railing blue, and the floor blue, and then everything else would be quite neutral. But it ended up looking way off. It ended up really not flowing at all. It was not doing it for me. So I ended up switching those out later. But I basically did the whole build with these and then realized like, okay, I cannot do this. I've got to switch those out. So this house has 2 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, or should I say 2.5 bathrooms. The bathroom upstairs has a tub. The bathroom downstairs has a shower. This is just in case you bring a toddler or anything or an animal to the house so that you can bathe them if you need to. Especially it's in the wilderness, so if you do bring an animal, they might get like stunk up by a skunk or something. So just in case there is that, I did think about that, at least minorly. And now I tried to add stairs, obviously, up to the porch, but it doesn't end up working. You'll see it shortly. This is me trying to save the color scheme that I had planned on using with the blue, but it does not end up working. So I tried to use stairs to get up to the front porch, but it ends up really not working because it wouldn't connect completely with the porch. So I ended up going in with platforms and just creating my own little step up there, which you'll see in a second. But I wanted there to be like a fairly large front yard because I wanted there to be quite a lot of garden there, and I wanted to do the like little side yard with some monkey bars and a swing set. So I knew that I wanted it to be in that back corner there, which it ends up looking really, really nicely. This is me trying to save the windows that I've all placed by changing the color of them, but it does not work. I thought going with like this bold red color would save it, but it did not work at all. So I ended up just going back in, switching up the outside colors, and I ended up switching out the windows and doors for different ones. I used the ones from the Get Famous pack instead. And I did really high peaks on the roof pieces just because I wanted it to look a little bit more elongated. I wanted it to be a little bit more dramatic. So I did stick with very high peaks for this one, which I actually like a lot with these. I feel like it suits it really well. It's nice and high, nice and long. The colors for the exterior are a bit funny just because one wall is white and then you turn the corner and it's like that dark black color, which is fine. It actually looks okay because where that happens is down at the back, so you're not really going to see it anyways. And it doesn't really look out of place. It's just knowing that it's the same wall but different it throws you off a little bit, but it's fine. It works. It looks good, so I just kept it. Now these windows, I really like these windows. The only thing is they don't come with a swatch or like a different window that is longer. So this is as long as they get, whereas those other windows that I was using, they were quite long. It is a little bit like less open with these windows just because they're not as long, but I still think they look really good. They match the door that I picked, so that's good. Also, I thought about doing like the windows that are on the white parts of the outside black, and then because the windows that are on the dark part are white, so I thought about doing like the opposites, which I did do with the poles that I did on the outside on the exterior of the house, the columns. I did switch out and do the opposites for them, so I honestly should have done that with the windows, and I thought about doing that, but then I thought it would be too much, so I just left them how they were. And I really wanted to use the wallpaper from the family pack, I believe. Oh, no, it's from the cats and dogs pack. But it had a lot of paneling on it, and it made the open area of the kitchen and the loft like really cut off and separate. It didn't flow as good, so I just stuck with a gray paint pattern, which it looks really blue right now, and I think that's just because of the floor, because it really doesn't look that bad in person. And I wanted to use these cabinets and countertops because they were so like modern looking, but there was not a swatch that I liked. I could have kept the white one, honestly, but I wanted a little bit more like two-toned of a color. So I did look for one. I ended up using the Parenthood ones just because those fit really well. I love these countertops. I think they look really nice, but the fact that they were two different colors and they were both quite mute like worked for me. It was kind of what I was looking for, so I did end up doing that. I remembered a trash can in the kitchen, but I did forget the big bin outside, so there's only a trash can inside the house, not one outside. And I did do a few decorations. I didn't do a ton just because it is a vacation home, so it has to be kind of that middle ground between like it'll fit for whoever is there at the time. So I didn't go crazy with decorations or paintings or anything like that. It was quite middle ground. I did put a dishwasher in this one just because, you know, you're on vacation, you don't want to be doing dishes. I went for an expensive fireplace for this one as well because I was not worried about budget. These couches also that I picked are all the same swatch, I swear, but they all look different. They do not all look the same color. I think that that's partially because of the windows at the back there. Makes that one couch look more cream colored than the rest. But they are the same swatch, they just do not look like they're the same swatch. I did put a little lamp and also the mixology globe in this room. I just wanted to fill it out a little bit, but not make it too like stuffed up and crowded. So I did add in a few things, but it is relatively empty. Now I move on for the kids' bedroom and the bathroom upstairs. Originally, the whole lofted area upstairs was going to be the parents' room with like a little side bathroom. But it ended up like being way too big for a bedroom. I thought it would be such a waste of space if that were the bedroom. So I divided that up, did a bedroom and a bathroom up there, and that opened area is where the like game room basically is. And in the game room there is only a chess table and a ping pong table, just because I didn't want it to be too crowded or have like any issues with while they're playing ping pong they can't get into the bathroom or something like that. So it is a little bit open up there, and I didn't put an easel up there, which normally I do always put easels in my builds, but this one does not have an easel. However, it's very easy to add one if you do want one or need one. I was going to do a laundry room also in this build, but I didn't want to make space for it, and I didn't want it to be in a bathroom or something with other things because I felt like you just don't really need it, so I didn't put it in it. I usually do put that in my builds just because I like the realism of it, the fact that in real life you do have to do dishes, but I didn't end up doing that this time just because I didn't want to take up the space. There is only one dresser in this house, and it's in the parents' bedroom. I just didn't want to take up room in the kids' bedroom for a dresser. So if they do need a dresser, there is one. It's just in the parents' bedroom. And now we're about to move on to the outside, which is honestly my favorite area. It does have a barbecue because I feel like if you're on vacation, you're mostly eating barbecue food, at least when you're in like the wilderness. So I did put that in there. I put a little bit of a sitting area so that the parents can watch the kids play or whatever. And I did just do a swing set and monkey bars and a little sprinkler for the kids. So there's not a ton of options of playing with, but there's enough there that will keep them occupied. My main focus for this build was I wanted there to be a big garden in the front with lots of bush, lots of trees, like quite private of an area. I didn't want it to be like super visible from farther away. So I did go in with some nice trees, lots of bushes. I did search through debug a lot with this one, probably for at least like 15 minutes total for everything. And a lot of times I couldn't find what I was looking for. I was looking for the little stone to do the pathway with, but I could not find it. I searched for debug for 10 minutes just to find this one stone, and I didn't end up finding it. So I ended up using the rug from Get Together, just the little circle one, because it does look like it's stone, but it's not. So yeah, you'll see me do that. This is me searching through other places. Did not find it. I did not find it. It was very sad. I looked for so long. And I tried to use the square one as well, but it did not. It looked too like symmetrical and cut. And I didn't want everything to be completely matching because nothing is symmetrical in nature. It just does not happen. So I wanted it to be very like spontaneous kind of, which is why I splayed them out kind of weirdly, and kind of just filled in the gaps as I went, because I didn't want it to be super symmetrical and all like flowing together. I wanted there to be spots that were broken up and spots that there were, unity or whatever. So I did do that like that for that reason. I also wanted there to be a little bit more consistency with the thickness of the path. But as you can see over by the left side by the play area, it does get narrow because of the bush. But I didn't think that I should move that just because I liked how it looked and I liked that little gap. I didn't want there to be a massive entryway into the playing area. So I left that like that. And then I went in and I did the dirt. I wanted this to look like it was not on purpose. Like I wanted it to look like the dirt got there because people were walking on it so much. So I went in and I did the dirt, but it blended too much with the garden dirt. So I had to go back in and erase the sides of it, but it looked way too like on purpose. So I ended up going in, erasing that all and just putting that back in. Once I erase the path, I go back in and I do the dirt a little bit lighter there, just so it doesn't look so harsh and like it was done on purpose. And then I kind of contemplated changing the windows, but I ended up just leaving them. So then I just finished off the roof pieces, I put the trim on the roof, and I also did the columns on the sides of the house. I did end up doing the dark columns on the white pieces and light columns on the dark pieces just because I felt like it made it stand out a bit better. I just added a few finishing touches. I felt like those peaks were a little bit empty, so I did add in a few windows there. But that's pretty much it. Now you can see me going in tab mode just so to show you what it looks like on the inside. And there is all of the packs that I used, and you can see it costs 62,500 simoleons. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.